How can I estimate how much my divorce will cost? Hi, I'm Bill Farias, founder of Farias Family Law. This is a question we get pretty regularly. People moving toward divorce want to know about how much they're going to spend on attorney fees to get it done. And although there is a pretty wide spectrum in terms of how much you can spend, it can be very little and the process can be very efficient, or it can be complex, take a long time, require multiple hearings, and cost much more. It's very difficult to nail down an exact figure at the outset, but I can give you some factors that you can think about and consider, and this will give you an idea of whether you might have on your hands a short, quick, relatively inexpensive process or something much longer and that will cost you more. So first of all, the factors that make divorces a little bit more difficult to sort through are length of the marriage. Generally, the longer the marriage, the more there is at stake. Assets. So the more you have in assets, especially assets that are more complex, like businesses, like multiple investment properties, the more of that you have, the more complicated it is to figure out the true value of those assets, and therefore the longer it might take and the more you might need to spend to get those numbers. Income. If there is a significant disparity in income between the parties, you have on your hands potentially an alimony issue. And when you inject alimony into the equation, you might have some more discovery on figuring out the actual numbers. You might have more discovery on figuring out what the numbers should be, because sometimes people aren't earning up to their potential. So big disparity in income equals an alimony issue, and that's something else to sort through, and that could add to the cost. Children. Now, if you have children, especially younger children, I would say under 14, then that's another issue that needs to be sorted out. Where are the children going to live? What is the parenting time going to look like? And of course, on these issues, connected to all of these issues, is whether there is an agreement on these issues. If you and your spouse see eye to eye on these issues, or any of these issues, that certainly is going to help you resolve the case more quickly and efficiently. Another factor to keep in mind, connected to this last point, is the reasonableness of the parties and the attorneys. And this is a very important one, because you can have a pretty straightforward case take a long time and cost a lot of money because you have an unreasonable person involved. Whether it's one of the parties or the attorneys, having somebody who's unreasonable in the mix and involved in the case can delay a case a long time and can result in a case costing a lot more to finalize. And so make sure that you do the work up front to set reasonable expectations with your attorney, to set reasonable goals. And of course, make sure you have an attorney who is reasonable and who is going to do the right thing by you and not promise the moon and the stars and then bill you to death and you get nowhere. So you do that by shopping around, making sure that you feel comfortable with the attorney. If it's the other party that's unreasonable, that's a little bit more difficult, because even if they get an attorney who is reasonable, sometimes that attorney can't talk that person down, can't talk reason into that person. And so this is a very important factor, reasonableness. If one party is unreasonable, that could blow up the whole thing and make the case take a lot longer. So while it's difficult to nail down exactly what you're going to pay for a divorce, these are some very important factors, right? The factors that I call the case factors: length of the marriage, assets, income, children. The more complex those issues are, the longer it's going to take and the more work you have to put into figuring out what the best outcome would be. And then reasonableness. You got to be reasonable. If you have somebody unreasonable on the other side, or if you choose an unreasonable attorney yourself, it's going to be a long ride and cost you more potentially. If you have any other questions on this, you can call us 508-675-0464. You can email us at info@fariasfamilylaw.com. If you found this video helpful, you can subscribe to our channel, share it with anyone you think might benefit from it, and you can find us on social at Farias Family Law. Thank you. Have a good day.